show me, yeah.
Whatsoever. However, I would say the broader game plan worked fairly well. Rap, what's too loud? Sorry, chat. Forgot to adjust the volume. My bad. That's my bad. Appreciate you guys saying it. I was wondering why chat was popping off. Little did I know, I'm just making you guys go absolutely deaf. Anyways, how we doing, chat? All right, we got those all charted up. Let's do these two real quick. Where is oils open? I was wondering why someone said it's like he's trying to talk to us. I did not realize that had to be loud as hell too. I already know that music was loud as shit. How you guys doing? Vibes are high. Appreciate you, Toasted. Zay, I saw you this morning. Did you catch the video? Music loud, music loud. I swear if my husband comes on here again, keep him in his place. Yeah, I know me and Zay were talking in Jake's chat this morning. What are you posting your NVIDIA trades? Rav. I'm going to be honest. You guys have gotten the most out of my NVIDIA trades. Any single NVIDIA trade I've taken, I have explained the exact thesis to you guys every night in detail, probably to an annoying level of where you can take it. I've gotten to the point where lately I am fully focused on my trading and not focused on giving exact signals, entries, and stuff like that. Does it help others? Of course. But in reality, most people should be at the point, if they're going to take something that I'm trading, where they don't need me to give them a contract to trade. If you see the overall move, see the potential that I'm talking about on stream, you look for that opportunity for the continuation of it. But NVIDIA today, I feel like it was one of the cleanest charts. Pulled right back into the 97.5 area. I didn't get it there. I got in, I think around this little higher low here. I did have a swing open. I had runners from last week, which I told you guys about. I ended up holding those to the pullback. I think I was down like 700 of my profits on those around here. It ended up rallying all the way up here. I closed those a little over like 206. But I also added weeklies here. I added the weekly 210s here. So the swing trade went like 250%. I think the weeklies went 180. So once again, really nice day on NVIDIA. Now, mind you, pretty soon I will be like teetering off this chart a little bit just because we're in this broader consolidation. But if we get over like 211s, I'm right back. I'm back to yeeting it. But at some point, we'll see. I do think this can easily get continuation trend. I'm just not going to be as aggressive on it as I have been. But if it does get continuation over like today's highs, I'm willing to trade it again. But no, I mean, NVIDIA's made my month, and it's the first trading day of the month. Oh, well, I thought it was the second trade. Okay, so it hasn't made my month yet, but today was nice. Yeah, Rav, I haven't really been posting trades in the Discord, just overall analysis. I mentioned a trade that I got in today on Discord that I'm still holding. It might go red because the chart's not as strong as this one, but I'm risking like a quarter of the NVIDIA profits from today on it. Yeah, NVIDIA's been the only thing I've traded options-wise for the past like week and a half. All right, I'm giving you guys 3 options on the poll today. Bullish, bearish, or consolidation yet again. Tessie neckline. Let's see it, Zay. What fucking neckline are you talking about, my guy? What in the absolute hell? Unless you're talking lower time frames. But no, Tesla's not a chart I'm going to play. With that move down, I guarantee you I look at Tesla's... Oh, neckline was on NVIDIA. Fair. I was going to say, I don't see that, but Tesla, I feel like I already know these contracts are going to be too expensive. Just because when you make a move like this, you get that IV in it. They're still likely going to be decently inflated, and it's not something I really want to trade. NVIDIA contracts are getting a little more expensive, which is unfortunate. They're finally catching on to the strategy. Pretty soon, it's not going to work as well. Look at the hourly on NQ. I feel like we need a pullback. Not really. Could we use one? Yeah, 100%. I wouldn't say we need one because we consolidated here. I would consider this more of a consolidation candle as well. We then rallied into end of day and spent the last 4.5 hours consolidating. Seeing you wear a hoodie in July, it's wild. George, my house is cold as shit. We leave, like the house is the temperature where your hoodie sweatpants, and you may still be a little cold at times. But that's just how we run it. But NQ had a lot of consolidation. Yes, I can see the daily. You may want to see a little bit of range. We still could because we're now fighting this little bit of a resistance here, right? Right around right below the 29,000 area. The big thing for me isn't more so NQ, it's ES. Because ES is at this brick wall. And if you remember, this is exactly what we talked about yesterday. If we get the continuation throughout the overnight, there's a very strong chance we can rally to where? The recent daily highs. Our target was last month's highs at 76.31s, and it got there easily. I think we could continue. Is there a chance we pull back, consolidate? Of course, there always is. But I would actually like to see more of a broader consolidation just due to the big daily resistance here. But if we do break, I am overly bullish because all-time highs is right there. When we got this break yesterday, we talked about the prior candle, right? We talked about how this was a 160 point rally on ES. All we needed was one more candle like that, and we're basically at all-time highs. We are currently now sub 60 points from all-time highs. That is very achievable. Am I going to blindly target all-time highs like most people are? No, I'm not. Because there's nothing that says we have to test this. Does it look great to test it? Of course. Now, mind you, at this point, though, it's harder for me to short because this is what the weekly looks like. If bears don't step in on this weekly, there's a chance we see above 7,700 on ES. And that would not be crazy. I mean, just look at this chart. If we want to get continuation, we easily could. But if we do start getting more of an aggressive pullback, if bears do step back in with a little bit of force, we could pull back right into that range we've had the last 3 days. But I do lean more so to the upside than downside. Four hours talking to me, it's saying buy me with no stop loss. Young, you do no stop loss anyway. So what's the difference there? What account are you trading on today? I have Lucid accounts and I have Tradeify. Right now I have the Lucid up. But no, ES for me, we have yesterday's high at 76.37. Keep an eye on that. Obviously, we have the open right around 76.30s, around the mid of this range. Low of the range is this 76.26 to 25-ish area at these lows. Until we break that likely lower conviction, I am willing to take a stab or two within that range. If I get stopped, I get stopped. Dream World is just going to be focusing on the 15-minute. Wait for a strong 15-minute close that looks good for continuation, then we look for that potential long. Anything outside of that, not necessarily interested in much. There we go, updated the charts. Do a giveaway. No, maybe I don't want to. You just change your profile picture. It's just 2 messages right next to each other that are different. All right, what's your analysis on gold, brother? Absolutely nothing has changed on gold. Not a single factor on this entire chart has changed. Daily, still consolidating. Did set a fail to go lower, but where are we? We're right in the middle of the daily range. Right in the middle of yesterday's candle, well, today's candle, right in the middle of the overall range. I do not care about this chart. I would much rather get stopped out on longs on ES 5 times than be interested in trading this broader range on gold in full transparency. It's just when a chart's doing this, you don't have a lot of higher time frame conviction. I don't have lower time frame conviction because we're in the middle of the range. I just don't see a lot to do here. My thesis on this still sits at we get over 4,200 or we get below 4,050 and I'd be more interested. Just any part of that inside of it does not get my attention or interest at all. It is still relatively weaker than the indices, but it is not a good looking chart for me. If you trade gold all the time, feel free to continue to trade it. It's just not for me. So we have oil holding 80 rather well so far this session. A little sideways there. 15s, nothing's going on yet. So we have ES at this daily resistance, RTY at this daily resistance, YM at this daily resistance, and NQ retesting these wicks. I'm gonna be honest, there's not a lot of conviction. The chart is still strong, but there's not a lot that gets me going, hell yeah, let's do it. What up, Donkey? I'm wonderful, brother. $9.17. I don't hate that. To be honest, though, I really don't want to see us below the open. I'd rather see us range above it and then eventually break. What up, Finch? What up, Elder? What up, Jeremy? How you guys doing tonight, chat? See you later, Mostfab. Sorry to hear that, Jeremy. Yeah, Bass, we'll see what Asia Open brings. I mean, I'm interested in taking something. If I did, I'd probably be targeting 76.50. So like 15-ish points to the upside. But the only question is, where do you put your stop in this kind of range? Like if you want to put it below the open, you could run a 6-point stop below this wick. It would make sense. So you look at something kind of like, what did I say? There. Like that. I mean, it's not terrible. I'm definitely not opposed, because even if I want to short this chart, most of you guys that have been on my stream should know exactly what I would want to look for here. Is this a daily chart that I'm overly eager to short? Not in the slightest. Do I think we can reject this resistance? Of course. What I would initially want to see, though, is that big spike higher. Show me buying pressure isn't valid above today's highs. Get us back below, then maybe shorts can start to play out. But anything outside of that, I'm drastically less interested to the downside. Like, it is very hard for me to look at this chart and be like, the one thing I want is to short it. And shorts could be the move at some point during the overnight. How about PLTR up a casual 14? Is it Zay? Oh, earnings? Yeah, but what was priced in for PLTR? What up, AXP? Zay, knowing PLTR, this entire move was likely priced. I mean, what are the contracts sitting at? I'll look at the 140s and see what those are. $140s were $3. So right now you'd be slightly green. Maybe you get lucky they open at 4 if we open around here. Yeah, PLTR is always so expensive. The IV is diabolically expensive. What up, Woozy? Elder, do you want a short? Interesting. I mean, it is impossible for me to want to short this just because of the trend on every single time frame. What up, Simon? I need 14.50. Yeah, Elder, I mean, I can see why people would want to short it. Just the way I trade, I can't. So 15 looks like that. Hourly looks like that. I would love the hourly to wait in this range till Asia open. So if we can sit with a little tighter inside bar, not break this high before Asia open, I'd be a lot more interested. Because the only thing is, if we do break it and we don't hold above and we start to push back lower, that opens Asia to send us either direction. So I'd like it if we could just stay below basically 36.5s. I just don't know if we're going to. I have a feeling bulls are going to pop that high. Yeah, it looks like a majority of chat's on my side too, because we have 51% wanting to be bullish. And that's the biggest thing. Like, can a downside move play out? Yes. But just based off structure and the way that I trade, my thesis right now is I'm either being patient or I'm willing to take a few stabs to the upside in order to possibly capture that move. TJ, you got a lot of room for NQ to catch a yes. A lot of room. That's something I don't necessarily agree on, just structure-wise, right? For NQ to catch a yes, if you look at this recent high and this one, essentially NQ would need to be roughly 1,600 to 1,900 points higher. If we're looking at that kind of move, you'd be anticipating like AMD earnings to just blow us off the top. Today, NQ in New York was moving like it was Asia time. I don't think so. NQ was just a really, really strong uptrend today. Towards the end of the day, if you wanted to trade like Lamelli session, yeah, you got straight consolidation, which makes sense after an intraday 650 point move. You know, we're gonna consolidate. That's why I'm okay if we consolidate this section, because we just rallied 650 points. Catch the 1,500 pointer. Zay, I mean, buy a pullback on a self-funded with one contract. Have like 2 bands in for the liquidation aspect and the margin and let it rip. Young, where are you targeting? But no, if the market does continue, my main focus will likely be options. Simply due to the fact that big tech has been getting smoked. And you're going to see moves like Meta, right? Like Microsoft, like Tesla today. You're going to see 3 to 5% moves across the board on big tech if the market does fully recover. And that is what my primary focus is going to be on. Because if you take options, like, yes, obviously futures would be wonderful. If you catch a futures trade on NQ for a couple hundred points, it's phenomenal. But if you catch a 5% move on options with the right contract, you just made your month. Even off of like $500 of risk. Maybe SpaceX will come out with crazy good earnings. All right, TJ, now we're getting a little delusional out there. Can it come out with great earnings? Yes, but I still don't think the valuation makes sense. I think that the team is better prepped for a V rally, blow off the top again. Zay, yeah. I mean, I truly hope we rally. The one thing about this market too is, let's say we only get a week or two of rally. What a majority of traders are going to try to do is continue to short to trade the price action we've been having. But if we rotate to an actual uptrend on, let's say, the hourly and the 4 hour, by the time it finally tops out, most people are then going to catch on to the uptrend. And because that's what I used to do, right? We go from something where we're just heavily consolidating to trending. I used to miss all of these moves because I would continue to want to trade this price action, be shorting every resistance along the way, trying to catch that big reversal move, and it just keeps trending. And then when it finally peaks out, I would flip to, all right, we're trending now, and then I'd get consolidated. Yeah, TJ, I mean, I don't think it's worth $30, but I'd be a buyer at 70 on SpaceX for sure. I think MU's pushing back up to 1,000. I mean, that's not far for MU. I don't love the weekly or the monthly. Problem is, MU to me is going to be more like gold, or like NVIDIA was at one point, where you get the bigger rally, and then you have to chill the hell out. If MU can chill out for months, like this on NVIDIA, and then eventually it'll pop that high again. Could it do it sooner, like this month? Yeah, of course. If the market wants to rally, it'll definitely get buying pressure. But I would like to see it chill out a little bit, build a little bit more of a foundation, similar to what most people are looking for on SpaceX. Give me a higher time frame foundation to really trade off of. I don't think this monthly is something I'm overly interested in. Weekly could hold. Not the cleanest chart, not the strongest chart. If you're looking for a hold of this, sure, trade it, you know? But I also know the contracts are ungodly expensive on NU. So once again, probably just not a chart that I'm overly interested in trading. Yeah, TJ, I think 70 would be a good area. Just anything below 100, in all honesty. But we'd likely need a broader pullback in the market for that to actually happen. Oh, let me get a pinned comment in chat real quick. 1 second. I'll do a cheeky plug on the pro account since that's what I trade. What up, AMG? How you doing? Chat, I'm tempted to just take the long. I just know we'll likely be in it for a while. If I'm in it. Stop or target, I would have a big expectation of us sitting in this for a fat minute. It would be something like that. It's like 2 to 1. And then obviously if we broke over the highs, I would trail stop pretty aggressively. Not in yet. I'm just drawing that because that's what I'm looking at. Let me look back at the 15s. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to let this 15-minute close because we have 2 minutes left and this is what it looks like. Last thing I want to buy is a 15 that's going to fail the higher end of the range, so we're going to be patient. So let this candle close, then adapt and see what we want to do off of it. TJ, I'm cool with that. Archie, why would I wait for it to test the highs if I was interested in longing? Young, that's the open. The blue lines. Just got funded. Daily pro from Lucid. You can pull up to 8K at one time on the 50K. Zay, you can. You just have trailing drawdown. But, I mean, think about it from the eyes of the prop firm, too. In the exact sentence you just said. This is why most people will fill that account. And I'm not saying you're going to, but I'm saying this is why, like, it's genius marketing. You can pull $8,000 from this account. So what are people going to do? Size up to try to make $4,000, $5,000, $8,000 day one or day two. There's a trailing drawdown on that account. You'll get nuked in your first trade. 100%. Just because I know that's where my mindset used to be. You look at that and you're like, holy crap, $8,000. That's why TPT does well. They have that trailing drawdown, but you can take out like $10,000 or $10,000 or $5,000. Yeah, TJ, with SpaceX, I would like an entry below 100, but I'm not going to chase that stock. That's something I'd be willing to buy in a year if I needed to wait. I have little interest in actually buying that thing right now. I would want a lot more of a daily structure. What up, Jose? Zay, probably at least until you get over the buffer. Because I would assume once you get over the buffer, trailing stops. So once you get over like 52.1, then you can look to trade a little more aggressive if you wanted to. That would be my plan, at least for those. So I would be trading it more of a hit and run aspect just to keep the drawdown intact. And then try to be a little bit more aggressive once the buffer's done. No, Jose, I'm not necessarily waiting for a breakout. I'm waiting for the 15-minute to give me some type of signal. I was watching this 5-minute as it was starting to fail to go lower, but then I looked at the 15 real quick, and it's a little bit of a failure. So what this tells me at the moment is likely a pullback either down towards 32s to 31s, or we continue consolidating at the highs of the range. Neither of those make me interested in longing this. So it's just waiting until the 15 tells me, hell yeah, let's get in this thing. Now, Zay, you're Zay. You always will be. Hopefully, though, we get a little bit more movement than yesterday. Because I look back at yesterday's. Now, mind you, the overall thesis played out well. Once we got off stream, we talked about one thing. If we continue to hold the overall supports lower end of the range, I'm looking for 65. We slow grinded up over, see, we got off at 9. So here, over the next 4 hours until we finally hit that 65 area. And then once we finally broke it at New York Open, we hit our big target of 76.30s. So in theory, unfortunately, we hit my target on the week. Now we just got to see if we can get that continuation above it. What up, Lambo? What up, Reg? Chat, what are your guys' expectations the rest of the week? Like, what do you want to see on the market? Because obviously, y'all always ask me what I want. I want to see what you guys want. Because there's probably a handful of you that want some rejection back into the range. I'm okay with that. Probably a handful of you that just want a big continuation week to ES all-time highs, which I would fucking love. If we get ES new all-time highs, big tech is going to be the greatest trading we've had in a while. What up, Larshi? What up, Discipline? Discipline, you're new here or new on this stream? Because I swear I've heard that, I've seen that name. You're new here. Interesting. Because we've had someone with the name of Discipline Trader win giveaways. I want to see it 29K on NQ. Brother, we are 46 points away from that. that is right there. Now, chat, talking about the 15, if we wanted to be a little riskier, which I'm okay with in this range, y'all know I'm okay with that. This is something you could look at. If this 15 does fail to go lower, maybe get a little bit of a stronger close, you can actually trail the stop a little bit less than I wanted, which would be good. Say you get in 36, which I think not the greatest entry because you'd be longing up into the high of the range. Don't love it, but you could run a tighter stop in general, right? You can run 3 points. You can run 4 points. I think that's a valid stop. Only problem, I just don't love longing at like the high of the range because the probability of any pullback stopping you out grows, but the chart looks fucking good. And I really think no matter what, bullish or bearish, we should hit 76.50. What do the other indices look like? Yeah, it'd probably just be ES that I'm more interested in. If we do get a trend, NQ will obviously get the larger move in general because of it's been lagging drastically. And obviously, what would rally the market is big tech. So NQ will likely have the greatest opportunities for risk to reward and overall trends, but we'll see. No, Discipline, I see you, brother. You're not blocked. I was talking to you earlier. You're good. Appreciate you being here. If you have any questions, feel free to ask. Since we do have some new people in here, I will do a slight cheeky plug with it. This is Project 365. There is 5 hosts. Obviously, I'm not the man on the cover picture for the stream. That's Rake Trades. I'm Ron G Trades. You can see it on the top of the stream. There's 5 of us. I start the market off 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. Eastern with the early Asia session. Alan Azang Trades 1 a.m. to 3 a.m. Eastern. He does the pre-London. Man's always crushing it. Jake, Rake Trades, starts 9 a.m. to about 12:30-ish. Then 11:30-ish. Then we have Lamelli. Then we have Mitch, 12:30 to 1:30. And then we have Lamelli, 130 to 330. As of right now, flat is the most appealing choice. Agreed, Rag. I mean, that's why I'm flat. My whole thesis is flat to long. Saw Rag on loose today? Hell yeah. You all trade different styles? Yes. Wholeheartedly, yes. We have different trading strategies, but we've all learned like the same core foundation. We've all just added a different bunch of variables of how we like to trade within it. Jake did good today, 11K. He did, brother. He did. He crushed that trade. I feel like today was a good day all around. As long as you were bullish, today was a very straightforward trading session. Like, unless you got wicked out because you longed the open, like the initial opening candle. Actually, that was pre-market. You could have longed any point between 9:30 and 1 p.m. and been fine. Maybe NQ stopped you out like here, but anything on ES, it's just clear as day. You could have longed at any point during the entire first half of the trading day and been fine. So far, what you guys want to see this week, 2 people answered my question out of 135, which is a little disrespectful. But the only 2 answers we got was NQ to 29K, which is 50 points higher. I figured you guys would have some bigger expectations than that. I want to see my account get passed. Not gonna lie, Chima, don't we all, brother? Don't we all? Wait, I said Trent, Rag, that's fair. That is fair. But what trend? I managed to lose money on NQ longs earlier today, but I was in a rush to go hiking with a lady and pup, so it was a quick loss. Yeah, Joshua, like I said, I could see that on NQ because NQ is drastically more volatile, right? These little candles on the 5-minute are pulling back 90 points. I could see stops there all day. That's also why I mentioned ES. I feel like it'd be very easy to trade ES. You could have longed a lot of the highs. If you had a reasonable stop based off structure, probably shouldn't have gotten stopped out for the most part. I could see a case if you had too tight of a stop getting stopped out there. But NQ 100%, brother. If you're talking about a name getting stopped out on, it's either going to be NQ or it's going to be gold. Those are the 2 that will stop hunt you the most. RXL. Brother, we didn't crash yet. If we get down below like 76.26s, then I'd be like, all right, this chart may get a bigger pullback. I'm interested to see SNDK earnings. Yeah, we have what? SNDK this week, and then we have AMD as well. Yeah, AMD's tomorrow. Let me take another look into Nvidia contracts real quick. So if we look at Nvidia Friday, yeah, they're getting a little more pricey. Obviously, because of the earnings coming out that are going to impact it. They're on to us, chat. Contracts are expensive. Now, mind you, if you were more bullish or bearish, let's say you were bearish on AMD or semis this week, you can take 200s for $1.30. That's not bad at all. Or you can take longs at 210s at like 240. So definitely still some opportunity there, just not as much as there has been on the video. What up, 1HP? What platform do you trade options on? Arceus. I may get judged for this, but Robinhood. It is the most user-friendly UI. I will just strictly trade the options contracts from my phone while looking at the chart, or just go on the web browser. Mind you, do I get absolutely shit fills sometimes? Yes. Yes, the hell I do. Because of their limit orders. But it's so user-friendly. It's so easy to trade. If I want to start a second account, which I probably will soon, for either spreads or swing trades, I'm going to fund my Thinkorswim options account. Because I have one of each. Those are the only two brokers I trade on with options. It is, TJ. How long did it take you to become profitable? A little over 2 years. 15-point crash, damn. 15 points on what? NQ? No, I don't know, dude. We hit 23 points to the downside. I think NQ's done for. But no, TJ, tell me Robinhood doesn't know their audience insanely well. They have the most user-friendly platform in the world, which means what? Newer traders are likely to use that platform over anything else. Then they immediately put the prediction market in it, which newer traders, also gamblers, which are likely using Robinhood, right? Someone who's going to be a degen isn't just going to go open up a Thinkorswim account and fund it. They're going to trade Robinhood. Through prediction markets on that thing, I guarantee you they're making a shitload of money off of that. And mind you, I've used the prediction markets once, but to be fair, it was a guaranteed win. I always told myself I would never use the prediction market on my Robinhood account, but all my buddies, we were watching the Super Bowl, and I was looking at the odds, and it's like, what company will do a Super Bowl halftime ad? So I did the logical thing, and I was like, all right, what companies are not doing a Super Bowl halftime ad? I looked it up. It was like Nike or some company like that. I think it was Nike. The odds were like 33% that they weren't going to do it. So I was like, dude, that's a guaranteed. No matter what, if I put like $200 in, it's a free $60 right out the gate. What makes you choose pro over flex? Jeremy, the consistency obviously can be a negative factor on it. But for me, what I did is I focus on the fact that you can get a payout in like 3 days. The consistency does help on that account, I believe, because you're not necessarily chasing one big trade and then slow rolling the rest of it. You're just continuously trading to hit overall targets. I also ignore the consistency a little bit. My target is like 1,500 is where I get locked out versus the 1,200, which means I just got to make more in the end. But I like the fact that, one, there's no consistency on the eval, and the consistency on the funded is large enough at 40% where it's not going to really impact you that much. BL, brother, I'm sorry to hear that. I mean, that is like worst case scenario, but you know right out the gate that's fully a tilt. The one thing I will say is if you lost 1,000, you likely still have that account as long as you're being honest about the 1,000. You can grind it back, just now you got to lock in. If you need to take like today, tomorrow off, whatever it is on that account alone, get another eval or something, trade that for a day. But once you find a setup you love, then you execute. Don't execute on anything else besides that. Just because you're in the mental space where you just made a mistake, probability of you continuing that mistake if you don't take a high quality trade is going to be a lot larger. So just take a breather. You've obviously been there. You can get it back. So it's $1,000. It seems like a lot, but to be fair, in this market, you catch one nice trade, you got 3/4 to all of that back. So you got it, brother. Never enjoyed Robinhood, Webull, or bust. Oh, I've never enjoyed Webull. So I've actually never even used Webull. When I'm long, there's no such thing as an uptick. We drop 100 or 300 points until they bottom tick me. RXL. I wouldn't be hard on yourself for that. All that means is that you still need to work on your overall strategy. And I don't mean that in a negative light, but if you're entering trades and you feel like it's immediately reversing every time, it's execution. And it just means you got to make a few tweaks to your system. Nothing wrong with that. Shit happens in the market. But you may just not be viewing something properly on the chart. So you just got to spend some time analyzing it. Maybe find someone to work with to help you fine tune that. And then make little tweaks over time to get yourself better entries for higher probability. Did make a lot of money in 2020, 2023 on Robinhood. Pulled most of the money from there. Moved it over to TOS. TJ, the funniest thing. My first year, obviously, I was red on every single options account I had. But my second year, when I was still a little red on Robinhood, I had money in TOS. I was flawless in TOS. But Robinhood, I was a fucking degenerate the entire time. 15 is holding, which is interesting, though, is we didn't get the close I wanted. But if it just reverses this candle, it's definitely a more bullish 15-minute structure. I would have loved to see us spike this low, at least test that 32, 31 area. Then I would have been a buyer. Wouldn't have had a problem with it. But it's trickier when you get a weak close like this and then you just rip right out the gate on the next candle. So we'll see what happens here. I had the 2x extension of July NFP 338, but got nervous. Closed the trade 520. 216. 1 HP. I mean, you said it best. That could have been, you know. I could have traded NVIDIA better today, I guess, you know. I could have taken longs on EA. There's a lot of could have. But now at this point, you got to figure out what made you get out early. Was it your trade plan that made you get out, or did you end up just looking at P&L, something like that? Now you just got to work on figuring that out. Figuring out where you can improve to be able to catch those larger moves. My goal on every move, like NVIDIA, I'm currently flat on it, and I saw a question about it. I will answer that. I'm flat on NVIDIA. I could have held weekly calls. I caught a good part of the move that I wanted to, right? Longed a few times throughout this and back here. If this gaps up tomorrow, is what it is. I caught the move I caught, took the execution I wanted. If it gaps over 116s, yeah, I would have made a shit ton of money. But I didn't because I wasn't in the trade. Runner got stopped in profit. So you followed the plan. Ain't nothing wrong with that. You caught exactly what you wanted to. You saw the risk you were willing to give your runner. Runner got stopped. You did what you were supposed to do. Ain't nothing wrong with that at all. I'm trading my 10-4. Says my buffer is still 2,900. Does the floor usually lock at? BL trades, I know nothing about 10-4. I don't. I know a lot of the other hosts have used it. You want to ask them that question. I haven't even looked at the 10-4 website personally. I am a ride or die, Tradeify Lucid. And that is just the way I am. I am stuck in my ways with that. Until there's a reason for me to get off of them, I likely won't. Now, mind you, if Jake was like, hey, here's the 10-4 account, yeah, I'd trade it. I also don't like their broker options personally. Wandering wealth. The greatest part about that, right? Obviously, you said you worked late last night and was like, I'll just take Monday off, make a monster move. FOMO is real today. First off, y'all know my outlook. FOMO is a fucking Fugazi. It's all in your head. You could convince yourself to get FOMO every single day, right? There's probably people out here that wanted the long NQ right here or right at the open, and it made this little move, and they have FOMO because they didn't get the entry. The market's going to move when it wants to move. Was today a really nice upside day? Yeah. We'll get more. The market will always give more. And that's the greatest part about it. There's opportunities every single day on every single name. Philanthropist still on ES. You put the question twice, but changed NQ and ES. You said how your NVIDIA call is doing. I got out of those, personally. I did get out a little early because I got out around here, around this like 207s. I really wanted 210s, but I felt myself being greedy, like I'm holding this position until 210 or bust. And then I realized look, you're up a stupid amount of money. No reason to still be in them. Because I ended up taking swings. They were down almost break even on the runners. And then up here, those swings ended up going like 200, like right around 200%, 250-ish. Around here, I ended up buying weekly 210s as well. And then these were like 75 cents. I think I closed them out for $1.75, somewhere around there. I'd have to check. But NVIDIA was good, trading me well. I had another really nice day on it, so what I might do is size down a little bit on options, slow out a little bit, and then just make sure the market actually wants to make sure I have the right read on the higher time frames on the market. It's something I like to do because a lot of my larger losses have come after like huge win streaks or like just huge winning days, which on options, I'm on a fairly decent run right now. So what I like to do is at one point I'll size down a little bit, do like a little heat check on the market with smaller size. Make sure I'm still reading it right, because even if you catch a nice trade with smaller size, you'll still make good profits. And then if I am, I'll continue to use the size. Rob, I don't hate that if we break over yesterday's highs. We don't have to break over yesterday's highs for a pullback. I'm just not convinced in the long yet if I want to take it. It's because they have so much news and info under each stock. You can get biased so quick if you don't know technicals. DJ, are you talking about just like on individual names? Because if so, yes. I do not give a single shit about earnings or any data or anything else to do with fundamentals of stocks. But the oil is strong. What do you think, most fab? I thought you were going to bed, brother. Most fab, there's two ways to look at this. And it's the same thing as the indices. If I look at this chart, is oil strong? Right? Is it? Mind you, we are holding this. What would be probably the greatest trap in the market? Have oil hold this 79 to 80s area. Have the indices look like they are just going to rip all-time highs and fade it. Wouldn't be the first time we've done that. Where's right here? You get all-time highs. You get like a hair away from all-time highs. Everyone's like, oh my God, we're going all-time highs. We're going all-time highs. Boom, sell off. You know how many times we've seen this happen on the broader market? This wouldn't shock me whatsoever. But I would still like to see a little bit of a rally throughout the overnight to get a spike over that daily, but it doesn't have to happen. We could slam back lower, reverse half of today's candle tomorrow. And it wouldn't really matter. We would just still be in a bigger range. Yeah, if oil remains strong, if the dollar ends up being stronger, we could 100% see a broader pullback. I'm not opposed to it. I just, for this session out the gate, I definitely lean towards the upside. But that doesn't mean I'm right. Because you obviously see I haven't put risk on for that. So I don't believe that thesis enough to where I'm willing to put a trade on yet. And if we do pull back, we pull back. Now, mind you, I'll lose a little bit of money in options, but I shouldn't get crushed. What up, Ollie? Yeah, 1 HP. It's just realize what you could do differently. Work on it the next time. Nothing wrong with it. Wasn't too bad because I was holding SPY calls over the weekend. Did like 300%. Hell yeah. That's what we like to see. I'm very interested in the mid of this range, 32 to 30. If we continue to hold that, obviously I'm going to be waiting for Asia open in 5 minutes. I feel like it'd be dumb not to. We'll see what Asia volatility brings. This 15 is going to be rather important. Because if we close near the lows, not the greatest 15-minute candle, likely test under the open on the Asia open. If we get 4 minutes of buying pressure, could see a pop over the top. NQ's obviously looking a lot stronger. If the market does trend higher, that will likely be the thesis, right? As we were trending down, NQ is the weaker name. As we trend back higher, what has the most room to recover? The NASDAQ. So that'll likely be the leading indicator of most things. So RTY spiked highs. RTY, YM both broke over yesterday's highs. NQ hit it to the tick. Hasn't gotten above it yet. And ES hasn't gotten there yet. Chat, is anyone actively trading this price action? Also, I truly hope, because this is what's been usually happens on trending weeks when we don't get big overnight gaps, is our session just gets railed by consolidation, and then everybody else thrives. Wait, 1 HP, are you saying that's smaller than micros? Yeah, Joshua, if you're in any type of long, I definitely don't hate it. But like I said earlier, if I had taken the entry, let's say like 35s when I talked about it, I would be in this trade for probably an hour, minimum. So this is definitely going to be a day where you're going to sit in a trade. Most of the time when the market's doing this, I will enter a trade and go do something else. I'll go do chores, do some work, play video games, whatever it may be, other than just staring at a chart that's not moving. Retest of Globex, 1 HP. Did you get in on NQ on this candle? If you get on in the retest of Globex? 1 hour doji breakout, Mason, I would love it. If you guys remember, the one thing I said going into this hour, we said this probably 30 minutes ago. Give me a smaller hourly doji, don't break over this high, and it looks better for longs. Don't give me a failure going into Asia. Give me something that we can end up trading off of to the upside. I still like 76.50s if we do get a bigger breakout. It's just, am I going to get an entry that I like? Nano futures markets, interesting. I mean, what I want to know is what's the reasoning of trading smaller than a micro? Like, what are you going to risk? 50 cents per point on ES? That sounds miserable. You catch 10 points on 10 contracts, you make 50 bucks. That is fucking, that doesn't sound like a good time at all. RXL, I appreciate you being here. Change your mindset, brother. Please. And I'm not just saying for Chad, I'm saying for you. It's not a good mindset to have, where every time you get in a trade, you immediately start saying it's going to reverse. Yeah, but Toasted, that's the thing about the NASDAQ. If the NASDAQ wants to move and you're in a nano contract, you could still probably make 500 bucks off that thing. Just because of how absolutely insanely volatile it is. But I will say, if you're able to trade nano NQ, you may actually have a reasonable stop loss you can trade. All right, a little bit of a pop on NQ. Let's see if it holds. Little volatility off the close. Asia always brings volatility. Sometimes we get a two-way action. So we'll see. If we hold support, end up getting some buying pressure, fine. I'm not going to blindly buy. If this goes down to the open on ES, I'm not going to blindly buy. I'm going to wait for conviction on this. Toasted. If anybody is trading nano YM, trading, I love you, trading might not be for you. If you're trading like 2 nano YM, the risk on that contract alone would be like $10. Buy an eval and risk a little bit more, dude. That would be the most diabolical risk on any trade you could possibly take. $28,970. My first order on short got filled. $28,970. Interesting. Toasted. It's new, brother. I'm learning from you. I'm learning from people in chat talking about nano contract. I didn't even know that was an option. Jeff, if that's referring to what I just said, it's a joke, brother. It's a joke. Nano's set to launch 824. Nice. Those for me would be more similar to like individual stock futures. Show me the volume is going to actually be present on them first, and then I'll be interested. Because you're going to need to get liquidity from MES and MNQ, which if you know, MNQ already struggles on volume in general during the overnight session with the wicks. So you may need a little more conviction before you can trade those nanos. Bass, I'd agree with that. It'd be really nice. What would likely happen, though, is if nanos actually do come out and they have the liquidity and volume, you'll see prop firms start to open 10K accounts. So we got the two-way volatility thus far. Came down, almost hit last month's high, bought right back up, right to the high of the range. Now we're kind of just sitting stagnant. We just touched last Wednesday. We touched 0.5 fib on the daily. Toasted. All you gotta do is turn the chat off, my guy. Easiest thing to do on prop firm streams is just don't read the chat. One HP, nothing wrong with that at all. Do what you got to do for yourself. If you got to turn screens off because of the way the trade happened, do it. We're holding structure well. Did the hourly break lower? It did a little bit. Ideally, we don't get a clean break right away, even though NQ is looking like it kind of wants to. Just because of the stop parameters on ES, what would that be? 4.5. Other names. Okay. Dollar, bigger rejection. Oil, little strong. Gold, nice pop. Gold with about a 10-point little pop there. It's not good when you zoom in on the 5 minute. And this is what the candles look like. So we still don't have ES breaking new highs. The other three indices have all broken over high of day. Yeah, 1 HP. Even if we're getting volume, which obviously I don't watch too much, we're still not going anywhere yet. Like, I see what I want to trade, I just don't love it. I want to watch how NQ reacts to yesterday's highs. But I am open on ES. If I take something, it'd probably be like this, where I throw a stop there and then look for front running 50, wherever that is. I'm just trying to watch for now. Strong dollars maker. Gold holding. One HP. Unfortunately, I don't have a gamma chart right now. I still haven't bought the subscription to get it. I'm cheap. Too cheap sometimes. To be fair, I probably should. I've had a good 2 weeks, so I probably could just do it. I just been avoiding it for the most part. In every variation of the 8 p.m. candle. Jada, you and me both. And I know exactly what you're talking about. Because obviously we got the two-way volume we mentioned, where we got the initial push lower, got bought back up. However, towards the end of the candle, we spiked these highs and then closed right back in the mid. If bulls were in full control, I would have wanted to see a close up here. Similar to what NQ did on the prior candle. But now we just got to see if we can get the conviction. Which this chart looks great for longs. I've just been waiting on the entry. And I don't love the overall entry. I just don't. One HP, they're both very valid. Yeah, Bass, there is for Gamma or for Bookmap. Because there's free Bookmap channels, I know that. I don't want to look it up on YouTube because if it starts playing, it'll be loud as hell. If they have music. Yeah, 1 HP. I mean, if you have a delay, it's kind of useless for the most part. I mean, not useless, but with Bookmap, you always want to see how we're reacting to the liquidity. New poll, Gamma or Bookmap? 1 HP. Most people would probably click the third one that says, I don't care. The only thing I don't love is we keep getting up here and we're not getting above it. As NQ breaks back below yesterday's highs. Like there's no reason if NQ wants to hold to get above this high and fail. I would want to see bulls get back above it quickly. I just don't love buying ES here. Because in my head, this is what I see. Because of the overhead resistance, I see my stop like that. And I see the resistance right here. That's what I currently view on the structure, which is why I really just don't like the entries, even though it can work. Interesting 1 HP. Yeah, I don't love the wall directly above us that we have been struggling to break. I can't get conviction along it yet. This dude runs NQ, ES, GC, CL for free. Jedi, I always look at those ones. Like if I'm trading oil, I'll occasionally jump on and just look at it. But what I need to do is fund my TOS so I can just get Bookmap again. I mean, it's only $40 a month, so it's not crazy. And once again, zero follow through. See how this 15 closes in 4 minutes. If it closes a bit weaker, we may go down, test, see if the bull, or yeah, see if bulls are going to hold the open or not. Juve, if you just go on YouTube and type ES Bookmap, you'll get a bunch of them. All you have to do, if you ever want to look at a YouTube stream and compare it to yours, go on your charting platform and watch where ES is on your screen in correlation to that one. And you'll see how delayed it is. You'll see if it's the actual correct price or not. But anyone that's going to be similar to where your price is on ES, NQ, whatever, is going to be valid to use. Of course. Yeah, typically you'll be able to find some for ES, NQ, gold, and oil, like J-Dot said. By the way, how you doing, J-Dot? This 15 looks horrible. That's what we love to hear, brother. See what happens when we get a little bit of a trend. GC pumping, is it? A little bit, yeah. Craziest thing is you look at this gold chart and it's like, damn, this thing's moving. You go to the daily and it's the most microscopic inside bar that you have seen. Oil retesting New York highs. Dollar's still a little weaker, but we'll see how it wants to react to 100 if it gets back up there. I'm not convinced in either direction still. Jay, that happens every time, right? You trade minis or trade larger size, do well for a little bit, get in a little bit of a funk. Once you roll back to micros, it's like you just got blessed. Agreed, brother. Agreed. When you're not losing 500 plus on every single stab, yeah, it's going to be way more friendly. That's the nice thing, though. Knowing you, I guarantee you those couple stabs, those couple days made back a good chunk of what was lost. We have NQ back at the open after a little bit of a 40-point sell-off, which is nuts. NQ looks like it is so volatile. So volatile. From that wick low to the high is 50 points. ES from the lows to the highs is 5 points. We'll see if we get a bit of a trend, but so far, this week is slow. I mean, I haven't taken a single future trade this entire week. I mean, it's only the second day, but obviously yesterday on stream, I said I wasn't trading, most likely after stream, just because of the price action, which didn't really move. And then New York, I was trading options. Cameron, it's hard to tell. The way I look at it is go to the higher time frame structure. Do I think we're just going to rip through this? Personally, I don't want to see it, because if we do, ES is then making a move off of the lows. Let's say we get to all-time highs, 370 points with zero pullbacks for the most part, other than this little wick. If I want a stronger move, I personally would want to see a little bit of this, right? Even if it's 1 or 2 days, and then look to break above it. Main reasoning for that is we then have a support somewhere. And mind you, this could be down here. This could be here. Like, it really doesn't matter how far it pulls back. But we'll have a strong floor below us, and that helps. Because if we pull back here, our floor is quite literally down at 550s. And we can see a lot of potential to the downside. So I enjoy the consolidations in the market. Obviously, I don't enjoy trading them because I haven't taken a trade. But it's healthier for the broader move if you want continuation. It doesn't have to happen though. Rob, yes and no. It depends on the market at the moment. But I agree. Kind of hoping YM isn't ready to consolidate all-time highs yet. So Jada, you want it to wait a little bit? If it does, because we've never consolidated up here. So if we can get a bit of a consolidation, even between today's highs and all-time highs, this chart would look phenomenal in a few weeks. Oh, did you shorted? Hell yeah. NQ's moving. What's dumping? Semiconductors a little bit. Wishful thinking, J-Dot, the hard part for me is we're still in the broader range on the daily. We can get nasty pullback. Like we could reverse half of the last 3 days moves in one day, especially with the data we have this week. But I as well would love a break on ES right into all-time highs. Yeah, it's an ugly break on NQ. Shorts may be the move. What's that poll sitting at for chat? 53% bullish. To be fair, I'm still on y'all side. Yeah, with break below open, aiming for 28,750. Ooh, you want a little bit of a beefy pullback. 750. So you want right around last week's highs, just below it. I like it. Especially if we get this, because I mean, we can easily see NQ try to push down to 865s at least. What I'm going to watch now here, though, is ES around the open. I still don't have conviction to just blindly throw something on because of the way we're trading right now. We are hard stuck in a range. I don't have conviction this is going to break either direction. If it does, it does on ES. But I'm just not willing to put the risk on. Nice, Eldred. If we get down there, though, I'd be very interested to see if we defend it or not. Because if we don't, we could get a big gap down tomorrow. Not like aggressive, not as much as probably today. But even the littlest bit of a gap down, you'll likely have more profit taking at the open. Give us a little bit more of a push right out the rip. And then we got to really see if bulls are going to hold the structure or not. Because the big thing to pay attention to is we have now broken above last month's high on ES. If we fail this, we could easily start pushing back lower. Especially with how NQ looks on the monthly. Gold still holding. Little bit, but not really. Big leading factor right now is oil. Dollar's still weaker. So oil is the main thing we're fighting. Can't sit to this range. See you later, Rag. Craziest part is we still don't have a lot of volume in general. Just looking at the individual candles, it's just not present. It's unfortunate this week looks like we may be spending so far a decent majority just in tight ranges. We on ES, we have not left a 6-point range since we started stream. Primarily, if you take out the 2 wicks, a 4-point range, which is diabolical. Best, that's more above my pay grade. I pay attention to it a little bit, but I don't know enough to really talk in depth about it. And with aspects like that, I could talk with stuff I see online, but I don't love talking about stuff that I just don't have the knowledge in. But I'll be interested to see how it continues to react. I know Korea and Kospi are saying a bunch of stuff right now. Japan buybacks. Saudi crude exports. Yeah, nothing crazy going on. Exactly, Bast. And if we get a weak dollar, markets could easily go all-time highs with very little hesitation. Something that's interesting is the Dow Jones is strong right now. She's holding up really well. I know J-Dot's thinking about it. That would probably be the healthiest rotation, is if we saw like a day or two of RTY, YM buying pressure, and then we rotated back into ESNQ, let's say Wednesday. Oil not moving, dollar still selling, gold still selling. Chad, are there any individual names you guys are looking at this week? Anything I can start to send some options on, even if it's just a swing trade? Also, if anyone knows, what's the stuff with Top Step going on? Because I keep seeing people talk about Top Step and like a Top Step issue, but I have no clue what's happening. What best? Like you go to buy an account and it just overcharges you? Melly. First off, my guy. Second of all, how's Asia's session going? Other than this wick and this wick, we have seen 3.75 points on ES in an hour and a half. If we want to be a little generous and extend it to the wicks, we have seen 6 points on ES. So it is eventful, my dog. It is eventful. Interesting, Bass. Yeah, no, I guarantee you people freaked out for that. So for Top Step, I just found out that you have to cancel subscription to cancel account. Luckily, I caught it and had canceled other subs. Yeah. Yeah, Lamelli. And as much as it does suck for this session, it's great for every other session. But it's just when the market gets a strong, aggressive New York trend, we usually continue to trend through New York. And this session, it's like the redheaded stepchild. It takes all of the brunt force of just straight consolidation, and we just got to grind through it. There will be greener pastures, just they're not here yet. We're taking the hit so you guys can shine. What up, houseplant? How you doing? Speaking of which, dude, do you guys remember that succulent I got? The little plant that I was like, oh, dude, there's no way this thing dies. My cat's been eating it, so it is not flourishing very well. You figured it'd be easy to take care of, but like, I don't know if you can see that. You can see the absolute bite marks that this little shit is taking out of the plant. Because she bites the leaves off and then starts booping them across the floor. What up, J Kings? Microsoft puts, look at the daily. Too far, too fast. Clean rejection of an order block. Don't know the order block aspect, but range of December. She's taking all the wealth? No. Eldred, the other one's good. I don't let her touch that one. Are you talking about the money tree? Because the money tree is kind of thriving. The money tree is solid right now. There's no bite marks on it whatsoever. Well, it's got a little white on 2 of the leaves, but other than that, she's thriving. You're good, brother. Why don't you just feed your cat? Simple fix. Rain, you could feed a cat. That's like feeding a puppy. But with cats, they just get bored and they will destroy, eat, whatever they want. That's why the top of that lamp over there is shattered, you know? This piece of wood is supposed to be on the lamp. The cat suplexed the lamp and shattered the wood off of it. So it no longer exists. No, the Melly, I want one. They're my brother's cats. Technically, I don't have any pets, but I want a dog so bad. I've been tempted to get one. There was a time where usually in the summers I'm pretty busy. So I didn't want to get like an animal that I wouldn't be able to guarantee I can take care of. Cat parkour. TJ, the worst part is I'll just be sitting at my desk and she'll do something like that and you just hear all hell break loose behind you and you just fear turning around. Like you just hear it crash, a bunch of shit starts falling, breaking. You're just like, yeah, if I just don't look, maybe it doesn't happen. But eventually you got to take it. Microsoft puts though. Microsoft puts. I need to hang on. We're taking all lines off this bitch. I don't care about a single level. I can always remark them pretty easily. It's just too much. See, the market is slowly continuing thus far. I don't hate it. Really, I don't. Who's the one that said that? It was after that. It was before that. Microsoft, what? 1 HP. I don't hate it. Obviously, I don't know the order block aspect you're talking about. But what I see is the big daily resistance right here. Right? If you're going to take a more aggressive trade off of a resistance, I'd be okay with that. Even if you just wanted to take something down to like 470s, I would have zero problems with a higher risk short off that area for some type of swing. Just because of how extended it is into this brick wall. It's the same thesis we always talk about with trades. As we get a more aggressive rally, the likelihood of us getting over this and continuing now is going to be lower. Can it still? Yeah. But it's still hard for me to short the market at the moment. No, Rain. I mean, there's days I'll close my office door and she will sit outside the door and just beat the hell out of it until I open it. Lamelli, it depends. I've been trading NVIDIA pretty aggressively on dailies, 0 days, and weeklies. Like today I took weeklies and I had Wednesdays as well on NVIDIA. But for me, it really depends on contract pricing and what I kind of want the market to do. I'm not in like heavy swings at the moment simply because of the daily structure on the indices, right? We've been range bound aggressively. We're finally back at the top of the range. If we can get something that makes me think, all right, this is a clear trend, or if we start to reject this and get a bigger reversal off of it, I'll look for a weaker name. Like maybe, I don't even know what would be a weak name right now. Chat, what's a weak stock? Like a weak tech stock? Apple. Let's just say if I'm looking at that, I'll look at Apple. I had to look at the move. So something I always look at is the ATR. So 8.5. If I want to see this push lower, I'll start analyzing the ATR and be like, all right, let's say I'm looking for 88. The ATR of where we currently are is going to be roughly 2 days. So I'm going to want at least like a week on that contract, maybe 2. Just because the last thing I want to fight is time. So there's a lot of factors that kind of go into it. The biggest one is I want a contract to go from out of the money to in the money. Like I know you're in SPY 750s, I think I saw that was. So your contracts are now in the money. I love that. And then now you just got to make sure you have enough time to get the full move that you actually want on it. But a lot of mine, I actually learned this from Brett Simba. I want the contracts. If I think the move's going to happen in a week, I want double the time on the contract. So I want 2 weeks on those. Jose, don't we have like a massive gamma wall at 76.30s on ES? Like, I mean, absolutely huge. Let me look at what Mitch posted earlier. Like, I feel like it's been the area to watch for a while now. Yeah, around like 620s. I don't know if that was absorbed or not, or if it's still there. I believe Tesla's giving long-term holders opportunities at the 300 level. It could be, Zay. My problem right here is the monthly. If we hold 300 on Tesla, this could easily push back higher. I mean, it's fucking Tesla. But the way I look at it, it's like I look at every other chart. If I'm looking at this as a 5 minute, is this somewhere I really want to long off of with this current structure? Not really. If you're looking at a longer term hold or a longer term swing, I like it. But to me, it's a lot higher risk trading into this monthly chart. Same thing with NQ. I mean, NQ doesn't look flawless on the monthly. So I'm still torn. There is a chance we have made the upside move in the market and we get a bigger pullback, especially if tonight ends up pulling back more aggressively into like NFP and stuff. Then I would get decently skeptical. Because it'd be a big resistance to short off. And I think, honestly, shorts could pay very, very well if they end up playing out tomorrow. VIX is back sub 16. Nice, Jose. I mean, yeah, if you're in shorts on NQ, you are printing. It shows that big tech's definitely leading the way in this little bit of a pullback. Mainly semis. MU, NVIDIA, Qualcomm. AMD's green. Amazon's down 1.3. Not crazy. My biggest thing is when I see the market doing this, all I want to see is where we open in the morning. But we are back in the lower half of the range now that we're below the open. Let's see if we get continuation or not. I don't know if I'm going to be taking anything today. Just because I didn't love the short entry in general. I didn't love the long setup, which I'm glad. Right? I watched longs a few times. Didn't love what I was seeing, so I didn't take it. So I've just been cash. Logan, what happened? Also, my God, how many accounts do you fucking yeet? Tried longing this morning. Did you oversize on NQ? NQ, I see why you could get stopped. ES, not so much. Well, okay. All right. I mean, okay. Yeah. Yes, I went one mini, so you oversized a little bit in the volatility, got stopped, and then it absolutely went parabolic. That'll lead you to tilts. That'll lead you for sure. I've been there. I've done it more times than I can count. It is not fun. It is upsetting, Logan, but what can you do differently next time is the question. Right? You made the mistake. You know what your mistake is. Now the thing, are you actually going to execute on it? Are you going to let yourself continue to make the mistake, or are you going to actually do what needs done to fix it? And that's kind of where I was in my trading in the beginning, until I got to the point where I was actually seeing some consistency. I got to a point where I continued to make the same mistake. I eventually got so sick of my shit that I was like, all right, this has to change. What up, Deb? Yeah. So, Logan, that's just self-control at that point. It's just what you got to work on. What up, Tito? Where's Manila? What up, Scott? All right, so ES is holding the open yet again while NQ got a bigger pullback. The interesting part is we still have YM, which has not seen a single pullback whatsoever and is getting that continued buying that Mr. J-Dot wants to see. RTY hasn't even gotten near the open. I mean, I'm still not interested in shorts. Now, mind you, I am looking at the S&P 500. I am not looking at the NASDAQ. If you have shorted the NASDAQ, congratulations. That was a really nice move. Finesse, you didn't put a stop loss, did you? Because that means you're likely in one mini with no stop. 70 points. So you got in around 950s and you're still holding. Oh yeah, you did say your stop's 860. Brother, what size account are you on? 100K? I would assume either 100 or 150. Bass, I lean the other direction for a short time period, right? There's not enough conviction to fully confirm it for one reason. The YM, RTY, and ES are all holding strength. It's not just the ES that's holding it. So as we look at it, there's one name that is getting weaker. All that means is we're likely rotating into the other sectors, such as YM. Usually where the market's healthier and we're not just selling off, the NQ and YM love to rotate. But I'm not saying this is guaranteed to go higher. Obviously, NQ is still pushing lower. It's still going lower. That's part of the reason I'm on the sidelines. There's a big divergence here between the two main names I watch. And it just makes me lose interest. Because usually when I see that divergence, at least between ES and NQ, in my head, it just screams range. There's a chance we break. If NQ holds support and we end up getting buying pressure on it, ES will break the highs wholeheartedly. I just don't love longing ES with NQ this week out the gate. And it might be likely going to be 2 days back-to-back, no trades. It's the opportunities we're currently being provided. Selling I don't trade NASDAQ a lot, brother. I mainly trade the S&P. You're in private, so you'll be down a bit of a hits. Nice. I mean, as long as you're not blowing up, you're chilling. Chad, now that NQ got a little bit of a move, how many of you guys took some trades? Actually, I'll just run a poll. Run our second poll of the day. Bullish ended up 50%. I'm just saying, technically the consolidation wins from what I view on ES. On NQ, the bearish won, which is also 25% of you guys. So out of 166 votes, 50% bullish, 25% bearish, 25% consolidation. The 225s won. The 50%, not so much yet, at least. Still short MNQ with my stop down. Hell yeah, Rob. But let's see if you guys are trading how I'm anticipating it. Short in NQ currently? Hell yeah. All right, chat. If you guys are bored, you have another poll you can answer. Gold coming back to the open. Nasty hourly wick. Oil still stronger. Dollar stagnant. ES is just a powerhouse. What's pushing ES up? No real names. I mean, PLTR is probably a decent factor. Nothing crazy, though. NKD is getting smoked. Yeah, I'm just torn. I don't have enough conviction to do anything on ES. Simon, that's called trading what's in front of you, so I love to see it. Trailing stop loss, so hopefully, I'm going to assume that says don't get stopped out, but you put do. Yeah, so Brett Simba just posted something about nanos. So I'm sure they already knew about it for a while. What a diversion in ES and NQ. Brune Echo. I mean, can you name a better one right now? Stopped out. Hey, at least you caught something, brother. What up, Moke? How you doing? YMES going higher. Got stopped out of my NQ. I think a lot of people are going to. Even no matter what way you're trading, likely going to take some stops tonight. Unless you're just taking quicker trades, which if you are, congrats. I'm primarily just dialed in on ES, and there's zero conviction yet. Hourly can still close better, but to me, that leads more so towards what? You already know the time frame I'm going to watch, the 4 hour, which gives me an hour and 15 minutes of really not being interested. This might be one of the first times when I end stream and I just do not look at the chart immediately as stream ends. Financials and industrials, are banks doing well? Not much overnight. The only thing that's even 1% green is just PLTR. Oh, you have CAT. So yeah, industrials are doing a little bit. Lamelli, you're going to hear my trading session and think I'm batshit crazy. Most of my futures trading is 7 p.m. till about 2 or 3 in the morning. Now, mind you, I would say I don't stay up till then every day, but it's damn near at least 2 every day. Even if I'm not trading, because that's just what my sleep schedule's on. But it's normally 7 p.m. obviously because of stream. And then there's little like sessions that I look to trade. Yeah, EST. But there's little sessions I like to trade. The stream, obviously, and then around after stream, like 10:30-ish, is when I'll check the charts again for potential setups. And then anywhere between like 11 to like 1 a.m., I'll be scanning for setups. If I don't see anything around there, I just don't trade. Now, mind you, I'm not sitting here staring at the chart the entire time, but I always have like an eye on it on the 15-minute structure. And if the 15 or the hourly doesn't look good tonight by probably like 11:30, I won't be interested in anything. Ron no sleeps G. Bass, you know me so well. Randy, I'm going to need an explanation of what the hell that means. Proper DGen sleep schedule? Home Depot. Sometimes it be like that, you know? You catch up on sleep eventually. Like, you know, if you get 6 hours, 5 hours, whatever it may be for a couple days, then you get 1 day of 8 hours, you're a brand new man. Good as new. That's what you got caffeine for. What you got creatine for, a little bit of nootropics, and you are living large. Sold NAS 28,920. Nice entry. Home Depot houseplant. I'm gonna go to Top Chat, and I guarantee you that message doesn't exist. Okay. So I don't know if Rain's still in here or not. Rain's name gets blocked because it has the word idiot in it. This man can just straight up say whatever he wants and they don't care. Simon, I'm not even going to ask what that message is towards. I don't want to know. I think it might be best nobody knows. What time do you work out? Usually during the day, for the most part. Just find a time slot during the day where it works. I mean, some days I don't trade New York. Like if I do well during the overnight session, I'm up till 3 a.m. I don't care about New York Open at all. So I have the morning, I can do whatever I want up until usually like the 1:30-ish, 2 p.m. time for the most part. But it all depends on how my day goes. Anytime in that time slot, I can work out. Probably more like you, where you're flexible. Sometimes it's early, sometimes it's later, just whenever you can get it in. I'm short 935.5. Right above the open, nice entry. Call yourself a little 70 points. What up, Marks? How you doing? Chat, why didn't anyone tell me that I completely botched that poll? How are we doing this session? Bullish, bearish, flat? I just asked the exact same question. I just made a new poll, put the exact same response in there. And nobody corrected me. I'm sure y'all knew what I meant, but there you go. There's the correct one that we can run for the next 10 minutes before I hop off stream because we are not moving at all. You might be having a day, bro. 8 trades. I'm just fucking bored, dude. Asia session is not giving us anything at all. And if you're trading NQ, obviously you get a little something. But when I have all the indices like this, where we're stuck in ranges, I'm not overly interested to stab stuff. So it leaves me being flat in cash based off the way I trade. It's having 6 hours of sleep and be fine. Simon, I'm great. Wonderful. Perfectly fine. Definitely never sleep deprived. By the way, Chad, I know I haven't mentioned it much on stream, but we better at least get to 100 thumbs up. If we don't run, I'm just saying, if we don't run giveaways, and we can't even break 100, and then we run them, and we're putting numbers at 200 easily, the love ain't there. It's just not there. All right, so ES is still strong. Strong 15, strong 30, strong hourly. NQ just doesn't look good. I'm probably going to wait till 10 before I take anything. If the market moves, it moves. I don't miss anything if I don't have expectations. Hell yeah, Rob. Nice trade, brother. Young, did it come a tick away from your stop and go so far? Oh, yeah, 60. Yeah. 4.5 points? Nah, that's not enough, brother. If you want that to happen, you got to get this, the market's got to get to like 61.25 and then go. It really has to have you thinking, ah, damn, here we go, we're done. And then it holds. So you get that little dopamine dump and then you just chill it. Agreed, Rob. You were down 1,920K. So $1.92 million. Nice. Those past 5 days in ES just short squeezes? Not really, Randy. We talked about it on stream a lot. Why did ES hold? You could talk about short squeeze, selling pressure, whatever you want to call it. The way I look at this chart is very, very simple. We came down, we retested this daily low support, and we held. That's it. No need to overthink it. We got down to the lows. Bears were not obviously strong enough to even get us below this daily low right here. After this, the weakest close we've seen since June 5th. And they weren't even able to break that low. So the selling pressure isn't strong enough to get us in that overall downtrend on ES. While obviously NQ is drastically weaker. And if that's going to happen, what's likely going to happen if we can't get that break? Bulls are going to start to slowly take over, which means people are going to end up taking profits, closing some of their positions, which is going to lead to more of an upside move. By the way, if anyone is wondering why I may have not taken a single trade yet, take a look at this 2-minute chart and tell me if this is price action. And I'm not even talking about structure. Really look at the candles here and tell me this is something that looks phenomenal. And I'm gonna straight up call you a liar. 100%. You can tell there's low volume, first off, when every single candle is just looking like this little blocky texture. I don't know how to explain it, but when it looks like this, when you get these little gaps with big wicks, that's definitely lower volume. A really big key for it as well is when you get these little blocks where every single candle high and low is the exact same number all the way across. That shows you there's absolutely no volume in this market at the moment. None. Probably a little bit better on NQ because it's actually moving. But when you get consolidations like this, when you get price action like this, where it just forms a big block, you don't see this in New York because there's volume, actually buyers and sellers pushing it. We're not going anywhere right now. I don't have any conviction to put any risk on whatsoever. There will be a time where Asia session is great again. Right now, I think we're hibernating a little bit. Randy, you saying should NQ lead in a bull market? Not necessarily, because I mean, tech's been weaker. What would happen if you're talking about it that way is going to be NQ helping fuel the rally if we get buying pressure for the other indices. NQ is likely a big determining factor. The main thing I'm paying attention to in this whole area is make a session great again. Hell yeah. But the main thing I'm looking at in this whole area, one of these charts are going to win. Either the NQ weakness is going to continue and the other indices aren't going to be able to pop all-time highs, or NQ will finally get over the bigger resistance while the other indices get that buying pressure and we'll be in a healthy uptrend. Either these three charts are going to win or this chart is going to win. For me, it's waiting to figure out which one is going to do what. Until then, conviction likely just sits lower. And it is what it is. But the number one thing for me to be interested in trading is us getting any type of volume during this session. If you can zoom out and this looks like a receipt, like the bottom of a receipt where you have all those barcodes, ain't something I want to be in. Not worth it. Watch London kill again? Bass, hopefully. Truly, hopefully. I hope either London or New York has great price action. I will take the brunt of the force if we need to, so y'all can thrive on the other streams. Asia session will eventually be great again, but for now, not so much. Expectations and hopes looking a little low. Kind of like trading Apple earnings, you know? Like big tech earnings. You come into it with such high expectations. Like, yeah, this could happen easily, and you're just disappointed by the end of it. Like, you get the move, doesn't move enough, your contract's open red anyway, even though it gapped in your direction. So let's do a sneaky. Randy. Do me one favor. Refresh your stream and look at the like number. We're not even close to a sneaky giveaway. If I don't have the giveaway thing on stream, I warned you guys about this last week. It's a test stream, seeing if the support's there. Out of the over 1,600 people that have been on stream, 98 have liked it. Can't be doing sneakies with that. If y'all want sneakies, you got to show love even when we're not playing in giveaways. Jose, what's CR? Put me a dump on the open. Open of what? Oh, the Hong Kong Open. I mean, the market NQ looks phenomenal for shorts. It looks absolutely phenomenal for shorts. ES likely doesn't look great on the hourly now. Nope. It is fighting the prior hourly low. See if it gets a push lower. I just don't have conviction. If you're trading NQ, short all you want to short. Let it ride. I just do not have conviction on the one chart that I want to trade. Call resistance, bet. Gold dumping. Chat. I mean, one thing I will say is these charts. Rough. The dollar breaking new highs. Oil still holding strong. Gold back below the open. Reversed that move already. It doesn't look good. It doesn't look good at all. Looks like we may end up getting a bigger push tomorrow. Here's something that could be interesting though. And I'm not talking bigger to the upside. We can go to the downside wholeheartedly, easily. We have this prior 4-hour low. I'm going to do a bigger breakdown both directions. Little TLDR here before I hop off. 76.25 is the prior 4-hour low. If ES gets down there and we break that, hold on. Because if you look at the prior price action, the last two times we have gone between 620s and 565s, we have barely seen any support or resistance either way. That's a shitload of room for lower recent support, which sits at 75, 65s. On the daily, if we want and bears want to take over, if we cannot get above 76.30, 76.40, this chart can easily pull back to 600 or farther. So I'm not hard struck either direction at the moment. I'm very neutral because we're at this larger resistance. I do like, obviously, broader upside more just because ES is structured. Hourly's continuing to hold, 15's continuing to hold. But if we do break below 76.25s, I am willing to short. Anything above 76.38s, all-time highs. That's what I'm looking at. When are you completing the other arm tat sleeve? 8 trades. I used to really want it, but then my frontal lobe kind of finished forming. I don't know if I want a double sleeve. I love my sleeve. Like, I wouldn't get rid of it. I don't regret it at all. I love everything about it. I don't know if I want double sleeve. If I did anything, I'd probably do like a leg sleeve, but I don't even know if I want that. If I get a tattoo, I have to like love everything about the tattoo. Moke, what about CRM? Nikki drops. And KD's getting smoked. Chat, we may see a broader move lower. How are you staying on for? A few minutes. I'm not staying on much longer. Chat, I will say, if we do maintain holding below the open with NQ showing weakness, I might be open to a bigger NQ short, or ES short, sorry. What up, right guy? Yeah, chat, I'm probably only on for like a minute or two. See ya, houseplant. Have a good one, brother. Right guy. Keep it simple. I just went over this, but I'll look at it real quick. Look at the move we've made and where we're sitting. We went off. Big support. Held, rallied, right? We rallied directly into a massive resistance. I don't expect this resistance to just rip through. If it does, awesome. Cool. I'll look to trade it. But for now, if we reject off of this, we'll likely pull back. Big question is how aggressive is that pullback going to be? And that's the answer I don't have. That's something that you just got to see in the moment. If we do get hard selling, nothing keeping this daily chart from pushing back more aggressively at all, whatsoever. If we got down to 75, 65, even tomorrow, I'd be like, yeah, makes sense. Big rejection after a strong rally, ran out of gas, likely going to pull back. So for me, it's just big resistance across the board. Every single index is at a big resistance. You can see ES there, NQ around these wicks. RTY, big daily resistance right here on the bottom left. YM right around this daily resistance on the bottom right. So we're at a wall. Now it's just a little test. Are we going to be able to be strong enough to get through that, or are we just kind of stuck? If we get below 76.25s, I'm open to shorting. Of course, right, guy. But chat, I think I'm going to go ahead and call it. I don't see much to do. There is quite literally no volume on ES. If these candles don't change, if they don't quit looking like they do right now on the lower time frames, I will not be trading today. Not interested in it. So we'll see what happens. 2 days, no trades. Not opposed to it. We have the exact same price action. Today, since stream opened at 7, to the extremes, ES is in an 8-point range. Yesterday, while we were on stream at 7, ES was in a 12.5-point range. So between the 2 days, we have ranged enough if we add them together to equal one full trade of what we normally look for. Ain't much to do. Question: if trading requires an edge, what would your last 1,000 trades reveal? If they show consistent edge, is trading mainly execution? If not, does real edge become psychological? G-Star. A lot of traders, not many people will say this, but I fully believe that a large portion of edge is also intuition within trading. Because I could give someone the exact knowledge I have about everything trading related, show them the exact style, exact entries, executions, whatever I want to do, and they'll still trade differently because everybody's different. But in the end, most of what retail traders do is intuition. Now, mind you, there is still strategy, execution, all of that. But for me, what it would reveal for the most part is if most of my losing trades are just poor execution or poor entries. And I know that for a fact about me. See you later, Simon. See you, Dev. Which is time in the seat? Yes, agreed, A-Trades. Agreed. It's just understanding the market. If strategy is the edge, then it comes from the setup, trade management. Psychology is the edge, and it comes from managing fear, discipline, patience. Then is risk management real edge. G-Star, all of that. Everything's edge. If you really look at your risk management and you have it set correctly, it is pretty fucking hard to lose in the market. Will you still take losses? Yes. But on a broader strategy, let's say your risk management is 2-to-1 R. And you have somewhat of a conviction to give your win rate 50% or slightly higher. That's profitable. Easily. Where most traders fail is because they can't keep their risk in check. They'll check their trading dashboard, wherever they journal, see a 50% win rate, and they blew 10 accounts. It's because most people don't keep their risk in control. If you can actually keep your risk in control and be patient waiting for setups, you need the lowest win rate that most people would even think to be break even in trading. Most people just risk more than they're comfortable with, which leads to blow ups and tilts. Most people have a really good month and wipe it all in 1 or 2 days. And that's just the way it works. So once you get those locked in, everything gets a lot easier, at least in my opinion. But with that, I'm going to go ahead and call it a night. So I will see you guys tomorrow. No trades yesterday, no trades today. Just market hasn't given me opportunities. We'll see what tomorrow brings. I'll be on 7 p.m. Eastern like usual. Alan's on 1 a.m. tonight. I know most of y'all will be there. So you have a great rest of your night, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.